this session, I will be introducing and sharing selected English works by Xuemo, a writer whose stories blend literature, philosophy, and deep inner reflection. And from the vast silence of the desert to the subtle movement of the mind, each book opens a different way of understanding life. Some stories are grounded in reality, yet reach beyond it. Some read like novels, yet feel like mirrors of the human soul. We explore works such as Desert Rites, Desert Hunters, White Tide Pass, Wild Fox Ridge, along with reflective titles like The World is a Reflection of the Mind and Eternal Love. So take your time, stay with the words, let this be not just a reading, but a moment of inner growth. So we are not just opening a book, we are entering a structured way of understanding life through stories, ideas, and a lived experience. And this channel is built for people who are not satisfied with surface-level content and want something that can actually stay with them after the video ends. So what we do here is simple, but not easy. We read, we interpret, and connect what we read to real life. And today's session is part of a series where we go through Xuemo's English works one by one, not just to introduce them, but to unpack what they are actually saying. And Xuemo is not a typical writer you come across in mainstream Western literature, and that is exactly why his works feels different from the first page. His writings come from decades of living, observing, and thinking in a very specific environment, especially the deserts of northwest China, which shape both the stories and the perspective behind them. But what makes his work relevant to a global audience is not the location, but the questions he explores, such as how people deal with suffering, desire, identity, and meaning. So when you read Xuemo, you are not just following a plot, you are constantly being asked to look at how your own mind works. And that is why some of his works feel like novels on the surface, but function more like a mirror when you actually sit with them. In this live session, I will move across different titles, including works like Desert Rites, Desert Hunters, White Tide Pass, and Wild Fox Ridge, and some reflective texts such as The World is a Reflection of the Mind and Reclaim the Throne of the Heart. Also, Eternal Love. And each of these books represents a different entry point. Some are story-driven, some are idea-driven, but all of them are connected by a constant underlying view of the mind and reality. So if you stay here for long enough, you will start to notice that the goal is not to agree with everything, but to see more clearly how things actually work. So this is not a fast content session, and it is not designed to entertain you in a superficial way. It is designed for people who are willing to slow down, listen carefully, and think for themselves. And if that is what you are looking for, then you are in the right place. So, hi, I see many new friends here. Welcome to our channel, and please subscribe to our page, and thank you for your support. So the first work I would like to share today is the Desert Trilogy, which serves as a foundational entry into Xuemo's literary world. The Desert Trilogy is not just a collection of stories, but a structured portrayal of human life shaped by environment, survival, and inner structure, set in the harsh landscape of northwest China. These reflect how individuals respond to pressure, limitation, and uncertainty over time. What makes these books distinct is not only the setting, but the way they examine human behavior without simplifying it. So as we go through this trilogy, the focus is not just on what happens in the story, but on how each character reveals a deeper layer of human nature. And this is why the Desert Trilogy can be read both as literature and as a way to observe how life actually unfolds under real conditions. So let's begin with this trilogy and take a closer look at what it presents. Okay, the first book of the Desert Trilogy is Desert Rites. Let me show you the book. Desert Rites. Hi, I see a lot of new friends here. Please subscribe to our channel and thank you for your support. We are here to explore the literature from Western China, and Xuemo is a contemporary Chinese writer whose works has illuminated many people's inner light. So please subscribe to our channel, follow up. Okay, that's the right. Desert Rites. Desert Rites is a major novel by Xuemo and one of the most representative works in his celebrated Desert Trilogy. Set against the vast landscape of the Hershey Crater in northwestern China, the novel represents a powerful portrait of rural life in the western desert region, centering on the struggles of Lao Shun and his family as they fight for survival and poverty, hardship, and the relentless pressure of fate. Through the story of this ordinary farming family, readers are brought into a panoramic view of rural Chinese life in the 1990s, a world marked by material scarcity, emotional deprivation, fragile hope, and the daily endurance required simply to remain alive. Yet Desert Rites is far more than a social novel. It is also a profound literary meditation on human dignity, suffering, and resistance. Within the harsh environment of the desert, Western farmers continue to struggle bravely against the destiny, holding on to their longing for a better life even when the surrounding world offers little mercy. Hi, Billy Kidman. Thank you for your message. So the question, do you think books will become extinct in the future? Extinct. Extinct. So Billy Kidman, extinct 什么意思 I'm checking what does extinct mean, sorry. So do you think books will become extinct in the future? Oh, extinct, like disappear. Oh, thank you for your answer. Hi, hello. I see some old friends here. I think it is impossible to extinct. Okay, a new word I have learned today, extinct, like disappear. So I don't think book will extinct in the future, but the form will continue to evolve. And do you know that the book form in ancient China? What is the book form in ancient China. Do you know that? Thank you for your ordering the book Desert Trilogy. Okay, Desert Trilogy actually have 3 books. Do you know what are these Desert Trilogy books? I think a book provides something that short videos and fragmented content cannot fully replace. And中国古代是讲一讲中国古代的书籍的形式，比如说竖题啊什么之类的，简短的。So, what are the 3 books? That's the trilogy. So I don't know what is the form of the book forms in Western world, but in ancient China, people recorded information on natural materials such as animal bones and turtle shells. And later they used bamboo slips and wooden tables tied together as early books. And silk was also used for writing, but the cost is too high, and only for the people are wealthy. Yeah. Wow. So you don't know that. So how about in your culture? What is the book form in the ancient times? Mr. Xuemo is a contemporary Chinese writer, and the paper was invented during the Eastern Han Dynasty, making books much more accessible. So, and then from them, books gradually evolved into printed forms, shaping the culture of reading. And thank you for your message here, and that brings us more topics to talk about. Thank you. Yeah, what are the Desert Trilogy? They are Desert Rites, Desert Hunter, and White Tag Pass. Yeah. Bingo. Is that or some love story? Yes, there are also love story, but the love stories written by Xuemo is not only just about love story. They actually, we are talking about transcend the petty love to great love, and finally find the Dharma. So Desert Rites is the first book during the Desert Trilogy, and it is a major novel by Xuemo and one of the most representative works in his Desert Trilogy, and it serves as a strong entry point into both his literary style and the thematic focus. And set against the vast landscape of Hexi crater in northwestern China, the novel presents a grounded and detailed portrait of rural life in the desert region. So let's continue. Wow. And what emerges from this is not a romanticized narrative, but a clear observation on how people endure, adapt, and continue under pressure, even when the external conditions of very little support, the underlying drive toward a better life remains present in subtle but persistent ways. So as we move, so the focus is not only on the events themselves, but on how each situation reveals something essential about human behavior and resilience. Okay, let's continue. Introduce the book Desert Rites by Xuemo. And if you are new here, please subscribe to our page. It is very important for our channel. And we update the content, update the shorts and videos every day. And you can, maybe you can learn something from the videos, from the wisdom and insights from the traditional culture and through Xuemo's mythology. So please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your support. Thank you. So let's continue. Desert Rites is far more than a social novel. It is also a profound literary meditation on human dignity, suffering, and resistance. Within the harsh environment of the desert, Western farmers continue to struggle bravely against destiny, holding on to their longing for a better life, even when the surrounding world offers little mercy. The novel's desert landscapes are majestic and haunting. Its human world is equally intense. Family conflict, survival pressure, emotional entanglements, inherited beliefs, and deeply rooted rural customs all unfold with extraordinary realism. And in Xuemo's writing, the desert is never merely background, it becomes a living force, vast, beautiful, threatening, and deeply intertwined with human existence itself. The work took 12 years to complete, undergoing multiple revisions between 1988 and 2000. Loic question, marriage. So, Loic question is what is Xuemo's philosophy against marriage? Because it's torture for both parents and kids. Actually, Xuemo has answered this a similar question before, that it depends on what is the final goal. Depends on what you want in your life. If you want, ultimate freedom and self-cultivation, then you should go focus on your direction, and then maybe you should not choose the marriage, and should not choose your to stay with your family, just like Buddha did. And if your life goal is to have the happiness with the families, then you should stay with them. So it's based on it depends on your own life pursuit, right? Are you still there, Loic? Yes, you're still there. So have you heard my answer for your question. So everything depends on the direction of your life. I don't think it is torture for Buddha's wife and kids. They've been left alone in the, you know. So if your goal is inner freedom and deep self-cultivation, you may choose the path of independence. So just like Buddha, he left a family in order to seek ultimate truth, and that is only one path, not the only answer. There is no good or bad, but it is your decision, your choice. So if your goal is love, responsibility, and shared life experience, then marriage and the life with the families also is a meaningful choice. There is no good or bad. So Mr. Xuemo does not opposite marriage, nor does he promote it blindly. He simply just reminds us to be clear about our own life purpose. So when your choice aligns with your inner truth, then there is no right or wrong. And when there is a clarity, even responsibility becomes a form of freedom. And about how to handle the emotions that arise and ease, I think I will recommend this book, Reclaim the Throne of Your Heart. This is the book tell you how to handle your emotions and master your mind. Okay, let's continue. So we are talking about sharing the Desert Rites. This long creative process allowed the novel to become what many readers regard as one of the most authentic and emotional, powerful literary portraits of Western China. For Lao Shen's family, survival itself becomes a series of unforgettable separations, sacrifices, and deeply human struggles. The result is a narrative both raw and epic, a Western rural world that feels at once harshly realistic and almost mythic in atmosphere. The novel was later adapted into a 20-episode television drama, Desert Fate, bringing its story to an even wider audience. But the true literary power of Desert Rites lies in its deeper fiction. It reveals a tragic drama of modern civilizations unfolding in the desert. Villages are gradually swallowed by advancing sands. Human conflict confront wolves, community fight over water, the most basic resource for survival. So through these dark realities, Xuemo explores one of humanity's oldest and most urgent questions: the relationship between human beings and nature, the fragile ecology of Western China. Violence between survival and environment becomes unavoidable. And from this tension emerges a profound reflection on life, death, human endurance, and the limits of civilization itself. So to read Desert Rites is not only to enter Western China, it is to encounter one of the literature's most powerful meditations on how human beings continue to live, struggle, and preserve dignity under extreme conditions. Hello, welcome our old friend here. So you deleted everything on your social platforms. What happened? So when we reading the Desert Rites, we are not only looking at a single story, but at work shaped by a long, deliberate, creative process. And reading Desert Rite is not only about entering a specific region, but about observing how life continues under pressure and how people maintain a sense of stability within uncertainty. Yes, it's quite, yes, actually, exactly. To focus on the main life goal is so important. And I will recommend a book that is not written by Xuemo. That's um, the most important thing. Or the book's name is The One Important Thing. So the meaning is there is only one that the important thing. I forgot the book name. Someone remind me. One Important Thing, I think the book's name. I have read that book several times. Exactly. There is distraction in every social media platform. And actually, when you are running the social media, you will have a certain identity you want to express. And actually, if you are seek for the freedom, I we should not to build the self, to build the identity. Oh, so the book actually is The One Thing by Gary Keller. The One Thing. One Thing. The One Thing by Gary Keller. Yeah, you can read that book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. I have read it many times. So to focus on your main life goal is incredibly important. Um, if you can find that one thing and focus on it, everything else will become easier or even unnecessary. And most people cannot become like successful, or because they are most people are distracted by too many things, and you need to be clear about your one thing, and once you're clear, your choices become simple. So my one thing in my life is to become the carrier and the vessel of Xuemo mindology, and to illuminate more people's inner light. Um, to our old friends here, thank you for your message, and thank you for your kindness. But here on our page, it is only about literature, about reading, about the wisdom and insight found in Xuemo's works. And the only thing we will focus is to maybe share Xuemo's works and let more readers to read Xuemo's works. This is our only goal. And actually, the what you are coming for is it is only happening in your own world. And in my world, I just focus on sharing the books. And I think, hello, welcome, welcome, and I feel blessing every day. Thank you. So, Adley, why Adley's question? Okay, wait a moment. You just say the one thing I want to, you know, and we are speaking about what the one thing, right? Okay. When we are clear about the one thing, everything else becomes similar. What to do, what to give up, and where to place that energy all become clear. And that is the power of having a true life focus. And how to become centered, steady, and meaningful. I think it needs some training of your mind. And how to train your mind, it is very clear in the book, Reclaim the Throne of Your Heart. Read the book, Adley. So you can search for Xuemo on Amazon and learn how to control your mind and how to master your mind. All the contents are in the book. So only if you can master your mind, you can really focus the one thing, that the most important thing in your life. Otherwise, you are still living in a repeated pattern. Even if you want to focus, you don't have the ability to focus. So training is very important. So, and then now let's back to our topic today. We are introducing Xuemo's books one by one, and the second I'd like to share is that the white tag path. White tag path, here it is, and sorry. So Xuemo once said, "What I wanted to preserve was not only life itself, but the soul within life." So what Xuemo has said that once said, "What I wanted to preserve was not only life itself, but the soul within life." So white tag path is one of Xuemo's acclaimed Desert Trilogy, a work in which realism and symbolism emerge to form a profound journey through suffering, desire, and the growth of the human soul. Xuemo once said, again, "What I wanted to preserve was not only life itself, but the soul within life." At one level, White Tide Path appears to be a novel about ordinary rural life in Western China, but beneath that surface, it unfolds as a deeply symbolic and quietly visionary work, a novel in which everyday life struggle becomes a passage, every hardship becomes a test, and every human desire becomes a gate one must pass through. The title itself carries a deeper meaning. Human life is a lifelong crossing. From birth to death, life begins as an empty space waiting to be filled by one's own actions. In that sense, every person spends a lifetime filling in the blank. And at the same time, every person spends a lifetime passing through gate. Each gate crossed leaves the soul slightly stronger. Each trial endured becomes part of one's inner landscape. This is precisely what White Tide Path portrays: a group of people, each confronting different inner and outer thresholds because every person carries different desires, different fears, and different longings. Each person's gate is different. And because of this, the novel unfolds in countless emotional shades and human contradictions through the intertwined lives of Lan Lan, Ying Er, Menzi, and others. Hey, how do you think about these Chinese names? Lan Lan. Can you pronounce that? Lan Lan, Ying Er, Menzi, and others. So she memorialized human struggle to its furthest depth. And the stories in the Red Tide Pass embody longing, conflict, disappointment, helplessness, and the constant tension between what life offers and what the heart still seeks. Yet the novel offers no easy answers. It does not hand readers a cure. Instead, it invites them to dwell within the contradictions, to reflect, to taste slowly what suffering reveals. This is one of the book's deepest strengths. It does not explain life. It allows life to expose itself. The novel also explores a universal psychological truth. Poverty is often not merely material but spiritual. And when others have what we lack, we feel poor. When others possess more, we feel diminished. When others rise higher, we feel left behind. The distance between hope and disappointment creates inner conflict, and from that conflict emerges the hidden poverty of the heart. And Xuemo suggests that when a person believes deeply in their own poverty, that poverty becomes real. Regardless of material conditions, that's the deepest burden human beings carry. It's often not external hardship, but in the comparison, inner emptiness, and the inability to reconcile desire with reality. And yet, literature itself offers another possibility. To read White Tide Pass is to encounter a quiet form of wisdom within struggle, a kind of cooling clarity that enters the reader slowly. So when one reflects upon life through such literary wisdom, ordinary existence may begin to open. One may rise beyond triviality. One may soften inner narrowness through a higher aspiration. This is why White Tide Pass is not simply a rural novel, it is a spiritual landscape disguised as human story. A long passage through suffering, illusion, desire, and awakening. And within its realism lives symbolism. Within its hardship lives life's reflection, and within its silence lives a question each reader must answer alone. What gate are you now trying to cross in your own life? So you can ask yourself, what gate are you now trying to cross in your own life? So White Tide Pass is not only a story of Western China, but a mirror of human soul under pressure. Okay, Loki's question, does government support your organization financially? Of course not. Uh, we do it ourselves. All depends, relies on our own team, relies on Mr. Xuemo. Hi, hello, welcome. So everything we do is independently supported by our own team, or you can say supported by mostly by Xuemo himself, like 99%. And we, us as a team member, actually very small part, we just, join the team and do some things, but mainly depends on Xuemo himself. So we grow step by step through real action rather than external funding. So we just introduced two of Xuemo's Desert trilogy, and just now we shared the White Tag Path. And through reading White Tag Path, the question becomes not only about the characters, but about the readers as well. What stage are you in? What stage are you in? And what are you moving through? You can ask yourselves about the questions. Yes. So, White Tag Path, or you can say the Desert trilogy, functions not only as stories of a specific region, but as a reflection of how individuals navigate pressure, expectation, and change. So you may find reclaim your inner strength through reading Xuemo's novels like White Tag Path, White, Desert Rites, and Desert Hunters. So the next one is Desert Hunters. So compared to the previous works, Desert Hunters places a stronger focus on movement, survival dynamics, and the relationship between human beings and more immediate natural environment. And Desert Hunters is a powerful and unsettling novel that draws readers deep into the vast desert world of Western China, a landscape where survival is harsh, human nature is tested, and ecological collapse becomes inseparable from destiny. If one is willing to slow down and enter the immense silence of the desert through the writing of Xuemo, Desert Hunters offers an intense reading experience filled with emotional weight, moral complexity, and profound ecological reflection. More than a novel, it functions like a mirror, reflecting humanity's fragile relationship with nature and exposing the limitations hidden within human desire itself. The central insight of the book is striking. Only a transformation of the human heart can prevent humanity from becoming prey on the vast hunting ground of its own inner world. Much of the novel explores a devastating truth. Once human beings interfere with a natural order, nature positively response. Okay, let me read the message. Okay, the question is, do you think people don't read as much anymore? And hi, hi Billy, are you still there? And thank you for your question. And I I don't think people read less, but the way people read has changed. People are constantly reading, like on phones, social media, and digital platforms. But deep reading, the kind that requires time and focus, has become more rare. Yes, the deep reading has become more rare. Because our attention is uh, divided into small fragments. So it is not reading is disappearing, but deep reading is being challenged and become rare. So that is exactly why books are still important today, and that is why we are um, creating this channel and sharing the good books to more people in the world, because deep reading is really important, and they help us slow down and think deeply and reconnect with ourselves. So actually the value of books actually become even greater, and we are donating many of Xuemo's works into the famous universities all over the world. So you know that the value of the books is becoming even greater. And the philosophical guy has message, I have an opinion. No matter how many books you read or how great those books are, they won't be of any use until you turn that knowledge into action, if you don't implement those lessons in. Yeah, I agree. I agree with your opinion, because what Xuemo always remind us and teach us is transcend your thinking and the method and the good thinking, your kindness into action, and let these actions become your daily life. Then that makes sense. Otherwise, they are only like thinking, they disappear. Because like even the greatest wisdom has no real value if it only stays only in our minds, and we are talking about it but never do anything about it. Then they have no value. So your insight must be lived, not just understood. um, and when we embody this quality in our daily life, daily actions, then they become real. Right? Let me charge the phone. So the true purpose of reading is not just to know more, but thinking more and talk more, but become different, make your life different, and the action makes sense. Hi, Loki's question: are you planning to launch author Xuemo lectures on YouTube in dubbed language? Double. Do you mean English and Chinese expression? It is very easy if you want to. Do you mean double language in both in Chinese and English? Hi V, I quite agree with you. This, although I can't pronounce maybe correctly, Nietzsche, then Dostoevsky, then Marcus Aurelius, then Franz Kafka. These people just give more problems, no solution. Exactly. And I have read some of them, the books of them from them. Exactly. They are good. And why they are called the thinker? But Xuemo is a practitioner. You know, they are the thinker, and Xuemo is the practitioner. He lived his life. He lived his mindology in his life. And the thinkers only think about this theory, and they talk about it. They have deep thinking, deep insight about it, but their personal life is nothing about their philosophy, right? That's the difference between Western world and the Chinese world, because only those who live their theory in life can be called the you know the great man, and they are remembered by the Chinese people. But in Western world, only if their thinking is very deep and have deep insight, they can be well known. Right. This is a difference. So different traditions of different approach. So the Western, the philosophers and thinkers, they focus on questioning and understanding existence, and like Xuemo, mindology places more emphasis on practice and transformation in daily life. And we can use these different titles and works at the different stages of our own life, and we ourselves, we are not talking about them too much, but we can combine both. We ourselves, what we can do is to combine both the theory and the deep thinking and real action, right? Combine them. So thinkers are known for their deep insight, but they don't always present a clear path of practice. like they are like Kafka. They are explore the complexity and tension of human existence. Their works helps us to see the depth of reality, but it may not always tell us to live how to live step by step. But on the other hand, some traditions place more emphasis on living and teaching. For like Xuemo's works, Xuemo emphasizes transforming understanding into daily action. So in this view, wisdom is not only something to think about, but something to embody. But like Aurelius, his work is still on my bookshelf, still on my bookshelf in my home at home. Maybe he has practiced his philosophy in his daily life as a ruler, right? So different paths emphasize different aspects of truth. And some reveal the problem deeply, and some offer a way to transform it. Yes, Marcus Aurelius was good actually, yes. Oh, Japanese translated, of course, like Xuemo's works have been translated into 28 languages, yes. Take a very simple example, for instance, the world is a reflection of the mind. It has already been translated into 10 languages. Here I have the book sample of the Spanish edition of The World is a Reflection of the Mind. The Spanish edition, yes. And this book has been translated into 10 languages. Okay, let me read the message here. So many messages. Thank you for your time being here. And oh, thank you for your kind words, Mason. You enjoyed the topics we discussed, and you have read 2 Xuemo's books. I know that you have shared that with me. Thank you. I think the one is reclaim the throne of your heart, right? Reclaim the throne of your heart, and the other one is eternal love. Oh, sorry. These 2. Thank you for your support. We are so glad that there is one more person in this world reading Xuemo. So glad to hear that. That's the meaning of our working every day. Oh, welcome, Mason. So you are going to visit our booth for the Frankfurt Book Fair. Welcome. Thank you. So, philosophical guy. The question is, what's the first book you read of Xuemo? The first book I read of Xuemo is One Man's West. It is the Xuemo's 自传. How to say 自传? Well, you have completed Eternal Love. Glad to hear that. Yeah, easy purchase on Amazon. Yeah, and you can on Amazon you can search for Xuemo, Xuemo, Xuemo. So One Man's West is Xuemo's autobiography, right? And through this book, he shares his experiences, thoughts, and inner journey. And it gives me a very direct feeling of who he is as a person. And it was also the beginning of my connection with his work. So One Man's West by Xuemo. It has already been translated into English and will be published in the near future. So you can know Xuemo more through this book, One Man's West. Hey, good. Look, thank you for your message. Yeah, good saying. Western thought says I am me, while Asian says I am everything. Well, your family also read the book Eternal Love. Thank you for your support. So yes, it's a Western world often talks about like identity, individuality, and personal freedom. But Eastern tradition emphasize unity, interconnection, and harmony with the whole. So yes, it's the difference between Western world and Eastern world, Asian world. Okay, then um, today actually I want to introduce uh, the books one by Xuemo, one by one. But the next one I'd like to introduce is wait a second. Where's the Fox Ridge? Okay. The next book I want to share with you is the Wild Fox Ridge. Wild Fox Ridge. And this remarkable work leads readers into a mysterious world of China's western frontier, a landscape where myth and reality merge, where the desert becomes inseparable from the human soul, and where every page invites deeper thought. In this novel, Xuemo reveals himself as a master storyteller. He skillfully weaves elements of investigation, suspense, and psychological mystery into the narrative, creating a story that constantly unsettles and fascinates the reader. The living and the dead move through the same narrative space. Two camel caravans disappear under strange and unexplained circumstances. A hidden killer remains unseen from beginning to end. And around this mystery unfolds a world filled with unforgettable characters. A fallen scholar from Lingnan, obsessed with ancient wooden fish chants. A woman carrying deep Venus who pursues her enemy from southern China all the way to Liangzhou. A young merchant here who recites scriptures every day, longing only to renounce worldly life. And an aging shopkeeper, lustful yet fundamentally kind-hearted, a Taoist priest dressed in a Taoist robe but wearing monk's shoes, gifted in fortune-telling and living inside a temple, and desert bandits who appear and vanish like shadows in the sand. And each character in the novel carries a distinct personality, a hidden past, a compelling emotional weight. Behind every figure lies a story waiting to be uncovered. And together they form a vivid, layered world where fate, memory, violence, longing, and spiritual searching are constantly intertwined. Xuemo does not simply tell a story of mystery. He builds an entire desert universe where human nature is tested under extreme conditions. The novel moves between suspense and philosophy, between harsh reality and haunting symbolism, allowing readers to enter a literary landscape that feels at once ancient and psychological modern. To open this book is not only to enter an unknown desert, it may also be to encounter an unknown part of yourself. So, Wild Fox Ridge. This book is also available on Amazon. Yes. And this book has won many international awards. It is one of the most remarkable works by Xuemo. Oh, yeah. Let me check the. Wow, Louis' message. Chinese philosophy is rank one better than West. Wow, thank you for your kind message. I don't know what the reality is, but so glad to hear that. Thank you. And Mason's message, Eastern philosophy is very interesting. Yeah, of course. I read a lot of Eastern philosophy, not just interesting. I think very deep insight. And Jude Rose message, East follows the West like a dumb sheep. Really? And the philosophy guy, if I were to say that Westerners believe more in practicality, while Easterners believe more in superstition, what would you say? And don't compare Eastern and Western, just enjoy the philosophy. Wow, nice talking in the chat section. More wonderful than what I am sharing here. Thank you for your time and thank you for talking here. Yes. So hope our space will bring more insights and deep talking to the readers, and let's grow together. Let the wisdom, both the Eastern wisdom and the Western wisdom, can nourish our soul. Lovely guy. So actually cultures influence each other all the time, right? And we can learn from each other and get our own strength from the different cultures. So it is more meaningful not to compare but to learn, and each tradition can offer something that helps us understand life better. And what matters most is not where the idea come from or which one is better, but whether it can transform our life. You know, the culture is like the light. You can the light is sometimes the light is come from a lamp. Sometimes the light is come from the sunshine. But we are not comparing which one is better, the sunshine or the lamp. It depends on you, because if you are nourished, someone needs the lamp and someone needs the sunshine, so you can get what you want from the different culture. So. Very interesting. Okay, thank you for reminding. Yes, actually the light is always there, but being covered by the dust. The dust means your living patterns from your family, original family, from your environment, from your education, and also from maybe your past life. So what we can do is to uh, clean the dust and let the inner light shine. It is enough. So this is also what Xuemo's books will bring to us, that to illuminate your inner light. So read Xuemo and nourish your life. Nourish your life with Xuemo's work. How about that? Okay, Wild Fox Rage. It is this book is the winner of the 2024 International Impact Book Awards in the historical mystery thriller category. And following the trail of long lost caravans, a journey into the enigma that blurs the boundaries between yin and yang, good and evil, humans and animals. Also, the English edition was translated by Howard Goldblatt and Sophie Chunlin, renowned translators for Nobel Prize in Literature winners. So again, Wild Fox Rage, this book is available on Amazon, and you can search for Xuemo, Xuemo, Xuemo for this book. And if you want to explore more of Xuemo's works, you can check our online store, shop.xuemo.com, shop.xuemo.com. So what to share the next? Let me see what I have prepared. So many. So the next I will introduce the shared book, Eternal Love. Eternal Love. So Eternal Love is a book centered on human compassion and spiritual care. It tells the story of a young woman who develops cancer and falls into deep despair, and the relationship that unfolds between her and her teacher. The book is written in the form of letters. Through these letters, the girl expresses her fear, pain, anxiety, and hopelessness. In response, the teacher in the book begins a journey of wise guidance, a process of redemption through love and wisdom. At its heart, it is a story about how a human being can be accompanied, understood, and gradually rescued when facing extreme suffering. So at first glance, Eternal Love appears to be a conversation between the author and a young woman trapped in suffering. But beneath that dialogue lies a much deeper intention. This is a book written for anyone who has ever felt powerless inside pain, whether woman or man, young or old. Anyone who has ever searched for a way to survive inwardly when life becomes unbearable. Because there are moments in life when suffering isolates us. Yeah, I quite agree with you, philosophy guide message at. Just as a small lamp can dispel the darkness, a little bit of knowledge within a person can take them very far. The way he connected a small lamp with knowledge, chef's key or chef's case. And the philosophy. Hi, Robbie. Hello, welcome. I'm good. And philosopher guy's suggestion to anyone who reads the book Eternal Love: imagine yourself as the main character. Only start reading once you have truly placed yourself in their characters. As the story unfolds, and you feel the pain they endure as if it were your own. Only then you truly be able to move forward with the journey. That is when you will truly appreciate the beauty of it. Okay, this is philosophy guy's personal opinion, and thank you for sharing. Okay, let's continue. Share the book Eternal Love. Hello to the new friends here. Please subscribe to our channel. Okay, there are moments in life when suffering isolates us. Even though we live among others, pain often creates an invisible island. Illness, loss, despair, fear, emotional collapse. These experiences can make a person feel unreachable, as if no one can truly enter the space they are trapped in, and often others cannot. Even those who care deeply may not know how to step inside another person's darkness. Sometimes people avoid difficult conversations. Sometimes they avoid naming pain itself, especially when facing serious illness or emotional despair. Words from outside often lose their power. This is why true healing must begin within. So in Eternal Love, the figure of Xuemo is not simply the author speaking to another person. More deeply, he represents the voice of wisdom already hidden inside every human being. The quiet inner force that waits to awaken when everything external begins to fail. The dialogue in the book is therefore not only between two people, it is a dialogue between the wounded self and the deeper self, between fear and awareness, between despair and the possibility of inner light. So the central message of eternal love is simple but profound. There are moments when no one can save you from outside, and in those moments you must learn how to light your own lamp. Hi, Veronica, you are joining the Discord, but the link is expired. Sorry about that because we are busy rebuilding our online store, shop.xuemo.com these days. So maybe if I get, and we are working on the contents on YouTube these days. So when we finish settling that and the team is built more, you know, if the team is rebuilt better and we will pay our attention to Discord. Nowadays, I don't have enough time running that platform. Sorry about that. And you can subscribe. You can follow our YouTube channel, and we are updating content every day. Oh, what do you mean by what kind of Asian are you? Oh, I'm Chinese, right? And we are introducing the works by the Chinese writer Mr. Xuemo. And please subscribe to our channel. Wow. Thank you. Sometimes I'm like sassy, okay? Yeah. So today's session is about several works by Xuemo, and each offering a different perspective on human experience while remaining connected through a constant exploration of life, mind, and reality. And we began with the Desert Trilogy. Desert Trilogy includes Desert Rites, Desert Hunters, and White Tech Pass, which presents a grounded and structured portrayal of survival, environment, and human behavior under pressure. So through works like Desert Rites, we observed how individuals respond to hardship, limitation, and uncertainty within a demanding external world. And in White Tech Pass, the focus shifted toward inner experience, where human desire, conflict, and perception shape the way individuals understand their lives. So, White Tech Pass. And the novel revealed how compassion, expectation, and internal tension can create deep form of struggle beyond material conditions. While with Desert Hunters, the perspective expanded again, highlighting the relationship between human action and ecological balance. And this work showed how interference with natural systems leads to consequences, and how survival becomes inseparable from the broader environment. Also, in Eternal Love, the focus moved inward, examining how individuals respond to suffering, isolation, and emotional difficulty. And this book presents the idea that while external support has limits, individuals can develop an internal capacity to observe, understand, and gradually stabilize themselves. So, across all these works, a constant pattern emerges. External conditions may differ, but the way individuals respond determines how their experience unfolds. And rather than offering fixed answers, these books create a space for observation, reflection, and independent thinking. So today's session is not about reaching a conclusion, but about opening a framework through which life can be seen more clearly. And what remains is not only the content of the books, but the questions they leave with each reader. What are the conditions you are facing? How are you responding to them? And what kind of understanding is actually taking shape? And this is where the real value of reading begins. Hi, I got some question. Do you like Qin Guan? Do you mean Ling Guan in the book? Wow, you have read the book, right? Have you read the book Desert Rites? Oh, Janice Khan. Do you like Qin Guan? Do you mean the character in the Desert trilogy, Ling Guan? Or do you mean the Janice Khan? Who is that? Thank you. Oh, Janice Khan. Yeah, I realized Mongolian ruler, the Genghis Khan. All right, 成吉思汗. So he is the most influential and most influential figure. I don't know much about history, sorry about that. So whether we like him or not depends on how we understand history. I think different people will have different opinion on him. But I always think that we should focus on who we yourself will be, and you focus on yourself and focus on yourself and who do you want to be and what you can learn from this great man in history. So I think what we should focus is what we can learn from them rather than judge them, right? Wow, by the end of the live session, I see many new friends here. Please subscribe to our channel. We are mainly about the good literature that can illuminate your inner light, and maybe you can find your inner strength through Xuemo's works. So, to both the new friends and the old friends here, thank you for being here today and and most importantly, we are so glad that you really taking time to read Xuemo's work and to reflect, and we can think together on YouTube. So if anything from today's session stayed with you and carry it forward and continue exploring it in your own way, we will continue to explore more works and ideas in future sessions, moving step by step through different perspectives on life and the mind. So our channel is mainly about the wisdom and the human warmth found in the works in the the works of the Chinese writer Mr. Xuemo, and so we are talking about the literature, the inner strength, and clarity, and how to transcend the wisdom to daily life action. So take care, stay present, and we will meet again soon. So nourish your life with Xuemo. Bye for now. See you next time.